So his projects are all in the folder.
Okay.
You guys wanna share that?
Work on it once we get to it. So
His. And we are good.
Okay, so we're called to order for the November meeting of the Conservation Board. Marjorie, would you like to call the roll?
Deputy Chairwoman Lederman,
Here?
Member Wilbur,
Here.
Member Hope,
Here.
Member Close. Here.
I guess we'll note for the record that Chairman Watson is excused. Okay, so the next thing we need to talk about is the minutes from the last meeting. Can take a minute to look them over if you haven't already, and whenever you're ready, we can entertain a motion to approve or correct.
That's fine with me.
Are you ready with a motion?
I'll motion to accept the minutes.
Is there a
I
second?
second it.
Great.
All in favor? Oh, look, I've recalled the roll.
Deputy Chairwoman Lederman,
Aye.
Member Wilbur,
Aye.
Member Hope,
Aye.
and Member Close. Aye.
So our next meeting date is December 11th. Any problems with that?
Not at this time.
Check with Dave.
I wonder if he saw the agenda and took that to mean that that was the next meeting, and I don't know. But anyway, so, okay, so we're set for that. So, next, now for the, let's see, the next new business is, the Canna Health, parking special permit. We did talk about that, last meeting, as you know, because we had the information. So rather than wait till this month, we took it up last month since we had it. But I put it on the agenda again for tonight because, you know, it still is a pending application. So I at least wanted to acknowledge it. Do we need any more discussion about it? I see. Okay, I get a consensus that we do not need to further discuss it. So we'll move on to the Stacy site plan, which I assume is here. Let's see, yes. Okay. This is for Perry Hill. Okay. So we'll need to just, you know, take a look at the material. This,
Where's Perry Hill Road?
it's near a school of industry.
Oh.
It runs west from East River Road. South of 251. It's close to it.
Okay.
Or the right, Henrietta Town line too, isn't it? It's kind of up in that flat.
Further south.
You cross East River and then you would take a left, right?
Oh, wow.
No, it's, if you were on River Road, it would be a side street to your right.
If you're heading south.
If you're heading south, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Perry Hill, right?
What was Hartfield?
But that was Elmville Road extension.
Oh, okay. All right. I knew there was a little road.
Very good. They were going to put, or at least about zoning for mobile home.
Oh, now I know where it is. Exactly. Yep. Thank you for.
Yep.
So this is in a subdivision, according to the letter from the engineer.
What did I wrote something in on
Where?
there called? Roadway.
Here's the map. Pass it to you. I'll trade you when you're ready.
Yep. There's still no water or utilities down that road, is there?
Says there is.
Okay.
Water.
Yeah, the letter from Land Tech says that, that it's gonna, of course, need a leach field, but it says the water service valve exists and was part of the original construction of the subdivision. It says here that there is a water course, floodway. Originally, no was checked, but then it was, it's like it was corrected to yes.
Yeah, we called it out.
This is all septic, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of close, isn't it?
I wouldn't want that to be my house.
They don't need a variance when it's that close?
Well, wouldn't you think it's more their issue, building? Being near the floodline?
For side setbacks are only 5 feet
Mm.
from the neighbor, so, from their, property line.
Right, but we're just talking about the flood zone.
Oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
Oh, I was just making comment that their septic is close to the flood zone. I wouldn't want my septic to be
No.
that close to a flood zone.
Maybe one of our comments then.
The health department, there's
Oh, is this the new revised one, the X one? Probably.
What was the old one? This one?
Look at this.
So the newest, yeah, the newest one is dated 10/24. That's yeah. the
It
original
changed
one
that
was
much in a year?
9/30.
How often do they do the flood
What?
plan or the flood zones? They change them yearly?
No,
Right,
but
but there's two different ones.
John will have to check that too.
Okay.
I do believe, so was this the one that they had on here, the E, it was like. Yes, so flood zone
Oh.
X and then flood zone
AE.
Right.
He had to put on here what level that's at. Cause that was one of the notes that I sent. I just don't know exactly where it is, but he was supposed to put it on here. I don't know. if it's-
Here it is. I think it's up in general notes under 6.
Ah, yes, yep, okay, so. Subject to inundation by the 1% annual chance flood zone AE. With a floodway area, other flood areas, zone X areas of 0.2% annual chance of flood. So average depths of less than 1 foot or within drainage areas, less than 1 square mile. That was definitely noted by our town engineer, so what will happen is, once this comes before planning board and if they approve it, what would happen then is they will have to, their engineer will have to, submit their, conditions, they'll have to fix whatever that the planning board suggests they need to do. And then John looks at the floodplain administration always before he submits a permit to that applicant anyway.
Okay,
So, I mean, it's kind of a double check in a way, I think, but our engineer has already looked at this. So he didn't, I don't think he saw much problem with the flood area. Like, what are they getting? No, section.
oh, and it is a raised filter bed, so that gives them more distance, it's not like it's just flat.
So do we have any concerns to cite for the planning board?
they collect corrected the, fact that there is wetland? Okay.
Yes,
What about the water course?
I believe, you know what?
They said no to that as well, but I thought Monroe County said they have to show it on the map. We haven't gone to them, I don't know.
Look in my emails, I thought I printed it out.
So, and also, well, yeah, it says watercourse / floodway. Now, and they check no for wetland. There's no wetland there, even
Yes.
though it's in the floodplain?
There is. There. Number 13 on the EAF says the site includes a wetland.
Yeah.
Then for number 14, where they did not check the wetland and down
Just no indication on, usually there's markings on here.
the grid at the end, they did not check wetland.
Right.
So the things that came from our engineer, for me to get back to the applicant and have them update, the covered open porch should have at least a 20-foot separation from the septic. The flood zone AE should have an elevation. Under the soil and erosion category, there should be a temporary stockpile, silt fence, and construction entrance. Under general notes, there should be a reference to the previously approved subdivision and site plan. And the environmental addendum should state yes under the water course section. So again, that is something that is looked at by the town engineer. And he didn't seem to feel there was much of an issue where anything was concerned in, the wetland area. I know the wetland.
This is
beyond.
just a dotted line for the wetlands.
Mhm.
So. Is it this?
Why would they have all those? I thought that would be elevation, no?
Well, this. I'm just.
Yeah, going by this.
Yeah.
No, because that one has little dots in it. These are kind of solid dashed lines, aren't they?
Okay. Then do you see the wetland markings?
You really need to have the EPOD maps available, environmental protection overlay district maps. And it's an
I
overlay.
don't
so you can
see
apply it to
just,
every
I don't
house.
see just a dashed line with nothing.
Okay, hold that thought. Well, actually, yeah, it's on the agenda for later, so,
Okay,
yeah.
but we could use it even right now.
I was gonna
Sure.
have Julia look at it and see if she can.
Yeah.
My question is,
I'm gonna take a look.
here's,
But is it one of
this
the-
is the wetland
Right.
notes.
There's a
So-
map, but it's not the overlay.
Is that a wetland, Mark?
I think this is, which would make sense, because it says zone lines.
So the.
Okay, all right. It's just that it wasn't.
Yes.
This is, I guess, the property bound.
I get that, but it was,
Oh, this here.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think so.
No.
It could be wrong. Would you find, where's that?
see, wetlands here, it's just,
Yeah, you see, it's kind of, well, you're right, it's kind of in between. What else?
See what,
Existing contour?
Overlay. maps.
oh, yeah, I bet you're right. I bet it's that.
On the big map.
It's just dotted.
It's nothing.
Yeah, okay.
And then this is,
Yeah, because you got a lot of these.
right, that's why it was, I couldn't believe that they were building the whole thing on.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, well, I think it's,
Like wetlands on, it's more of a, multi-zone.
I think there are a couple of concerns that I see. One of them is, again, we have another application which is not accurate. It can't be accurate because it contradicts itself. In some places, it says there are wetlands, and in some places, it says there aren't wetlands. And the map does show wetlands, right,
So,
along the flood zone, for the
Mhm.
property. very, very close to the house. There is a silt fence and a raised bed, but still, they're supposed to show how they're going to mitigate any issues with the, with the environmentally sensitive features. And I don't see that they've done that. Do you?
What other paperwork do we have?
It looks like more than there is. There is less here than meets the eye because there's some of it repeats.
I was just gonna say that.
Okay,
Just-
yeah, there's multiple copies.
Yeah.
But it's not accurate. This is
Water
someone who presents
cause
many plans. So supposedly this person, this firm knows what to do.
So these are, all of these lots are approved building lots. So you
Yes,
know,
that's
as far as that is, concerned, that was deemed as an approved building lot. Like I
Well,
said, I mean.
Whenever they submit an application, the application should be complete and it shouldn't contradict itself. No matter what's been approved by whoever in the past. Yeah, that's fine.
Great,
Yeah.
great.
Look at what it says here. For question 13A about the wetlands, yes, digital mapping information on local, New York State and federal wetland and water bodies is known to be incomplete.
That's what they're saying.
Refer to the EAF workbook.
It's close, but
They
What's
still,
the EAF workbook?
they still have to put in a mitigation plan. And I don't see, I don't see how there could not be wetlands regardless of the map is incomplete if it's on the, if it's on the floodplain.
And number 13, they answered yes.
They did say yes, but then they did not identify.
Where, usually they just give you a
13.
location on the map.
Right.
But then here they're saying this is known to be incomplete.
Now, I'm not seeing the water course on the map. Is there a water course or just wetlands?
that was something actually that we just talked about in our last PRC meeting for this. We're actually going to look at updating the information on this application to change possibly the wording water course. That was something that Karen Brown also was part of that conversation with the engineer, because it is very confusing as to what they're talking about, where the water courses are
And-
concerned.
Right,
wetlands
it says
and
yes,
whatever.
but
What it
What
is.
does it entail, like what is
And there's another place
you know,
that
what
says
is
yes.
actual identification of
But
what they're,
there's
putting
nothing on
water
here that
course.
would show.
And it's not really, I don't think they use that word on the EAF either.
But that again would be made clear if we had the overlay map.
Right.
which
I agree.
we should
Yeah,
have.
let me put that down too on here, just
So it
to,
would either appear or not appear.
I'll talk with John too, just see if we,
And yeah, and we wouldn't want to, I wouldn't want to, I'll speak for myself, I wouldn't want to eliminate the term water course. I would at least substitute something for it if it's unclear, but
it's-
More
it's-
specific, right?
Yeah, so it's more
Well,
identifying
she said
what that
floodway.
means.
right.
Well, they.
Then here
also
they still check no for wetland.
Designation, some are.
Mhm.
Some are not.
Right, yeah. So I think it's more to, it's more of a general term to include your, your wetlands, your.
I don't think so, because
all those sorts of things.
Wetlands is a separate category though. If when
But
you're,
this is water.
yeah, there's wetlands and water course. Yeah, so I never thought that water course included wetlands. I thought wetlands is a separate category. There can be a water course going through the wetlands, there often is. Like I have wetlands in the back of my property and there's a creek that goes through it, but the
Yeah.
wetlands are bigger than that, but
Okay.
there is.
Yeah, they
creek.
just like the term, water course corridor. It was one of the, I guess
Yeah.
it was one of.
You really don't
things that
need corridor, I
they-
suppose.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Okay, so for comments, I guess, we need to talk about the contradictions in the application.
And wanting clarification
Yeah.
because
Right.
of the
Good
contradiction.
point. Okay, so I'll say clarification and correction, right? Because some of
Right.
it has to be inaccurate.
Well,
You
it's
can't have it
something
both
said
ways.
Back here too. It's like they're covering themselves, but this is very ambiguous. Do you know what this workbook is?
He would be, I don't,
EAF workbook?
for wetlands.
I think it's all part of the EAF form, like there, a lot of the engineers that I've talked to recently say that a lot of these areas are populated automatically on the EAF form. When they use the EAF mapper, it automatically populates these things, so
Okay.
they don't always I don't think they always review all of it.
That's on them, Marjorie.
I agree.
What does that stand for, EAF?
Environmental assessment form. And there's the short and then there's the long. So there's, depending, I mean, site plans don't, for residential, they don't usually require a long form, but the short form is always asked for usually when there's construction.
And when they changed, like when they made these building lots, I mean, they didn't do any specs or, I mean, they divided it and had an engineer, but
Some of them are actually perked and.
I was
this-
wondering, they do that?
This one, this particular spot was pretty controversial because this was done by Land Tech, the
Right.
subdivision and then the approval of the building lots. But it was done in 2020, so there's 5-year overlap here of, yes, can we get updated information from the Department of Health and that kind of thing? That's something that we don't have in our code as to whether we
Right, you
can
do.
accept it or not, so we were just gonna ask them for it.
Oh.
But our process by code is to still fill out the application, submit it to, through the town, and then it takes its roots that way, even if it is a, pre-approved building lot. But it has perked, they've done other tests there too, I can't remember exactly what, but the Department of Health they do have information from the Department of Health, but it was from 5 years ago.
Must have included people.
Actually, you know what it says
so.
here? It says the project is a construction of a single family home. The property was created as part of the Perry Hill Estates in 2018.
Yeah, and then they had, once it was approved, then they had, Department of Health come out.
Right, previously
But
approved by
The
the.
applicant was, I mean, he went about it, 25 different ways to try to get the town to allow him not to have to do a site plan application. So it was quite a controversy, I'm sure. He was going to different
People,
departments and, oh yeah,
see what answer
Yeah.
you give me.
yeah, see what, and then Steve Leone came in, he was the original owner, and, yeah, it was kind of crazy, so. But he applied and we got him on the forward track,
Okay, so I'll read what I have so far based on the discussion. Number one, clarification and corrections needed regarding wetlands. Some parts of application state there are no wetlands, other parts say there are. The map shows wetlands and floodplain on the property. Number two, the applicant should show a mitigation plan. regarding the wetlands and floodplain. Actually, for number one, I'd like to add, the application should be corrected for consistency and accuracy. Now, do we want to say anything about the septic being so close to the house?
Well, the health department will be examining all of that.
Right, and
But it doesn't mean, I'm not saying we have to come in, but it doesn't mean we can't. If that's,
We did ask them to show that the back porch there, I think it's a covered porch, should be 20 feet away from the septic, but
but do we as the conservation board want to weigh in on that or not?
like I said, if. I mean,
She, yes,
I-
Sue wouldn't. want
I
that
would,
to-
right, I wouldn't want
It
that.
does seem close.
Do we have just asking, do we have an environmental concern regarding the close proximity?
Septic system for the house. You know how close that is to the house?
What was the last part?
It's a lot closer than 25 feet, isn't it?
No, it's.
Is it?
The first one.
Well, but my concern more is that the flood line to the septic system is,
Right, so it's not
That-
just the house, it's that it's close to the floodplain.
right,
And that is an environmental issue.
that's my,
And the wetlands,
That's more.
yeah.
adjacent to the house.
that's what?
That's more in the floodplain to the house.
Right.
Right, that's what my concern
Yeah.
is, the septic and the flood,
Yeah, no, that's a good point, Sue.
yeah,
That's a good point. We're agreeing with you.
Mhm.
cause isn't that similar to some of the issues? Houses, backyards flooding, their septic.
Sometimes it-
Mhm. I'd at least like someone to red flag it if didn't notice it.
Well, and hopefully the health department would, right?
I would think somebody,
Yeah, septic system. You have to meet, you have to do what they do.
well, and then imagine, I mean, it being rate, I'm not familiar with, I know Mary Kay has a raise, but I'm not
yeah.
familiar with how that goes with, flooding and.
Okay, let me read all this back. Well, before I do that, okay, so we've got the contradictions, we've got the wetlands and the floodplains without a mitigation plan. We have concerns that the septic system is in close proximity to the wetlands and floodplain. Any other concerns that we want to include?
I don't see any.
Okay, so let's see, I guess since I have it in front of me, well, let me read it and somebody else can state the motion. How's that? Okay. Okay, so number one, clarification and corrections needed regarding wetlands. Some parts of application state that there are no wetlands, other parts say that there are. The map shows wetlands and floodplain on the property. The application should be corrected for consistency and accuracy. Number two, the applicant should show a mitigation plan regarding the wetlands and the floodplains. Three, we have concerns that the septic system is in close proximity to the wetlands and the floodplain.
Mhm.
So may I have a motion to
I have a motion, I motion that we accept our
comments as written?
comment
I'll
as
second
written.
Okay, second,
Or second.
Us.
all right. All right, Deputy Chairwoman Davis,
Aye.
Member Wolfert,
Aye.
Member Hope,
I,
Member Smith.
Okay, so next we have the Bailey site plan. And that's on Rushmenden Road.
Which we did look at before.
Okay,
You looked at their subdivision plans.
let's see, why don't I just take that back to within Dave's folder. It's this. Okay, let's see. Seems like a thicker.
Yeah, it does. A lot of layers.
Application is seeking site plan approval to construct a single-family home serviced by on-site septic system and public water. So that's what, I guess, so the subdivision was approved, now they're going for approval of the dwelling, take it, is that right?
Yes. That's correct. And they're also going to perform some lot line alterations around that property as well.
Oh, I see that's checked, yes. Okay, now they're saying that there's a woodland and there's an archaeological or historic
Is this
site.
one that's by the Lehigh Trail that they wanted to divide up?
Oh, it's absolutely beautiful. I'm sorry to see a house going there. I don't own it, so,
It doesn't say there's a steep slope on the form.
well, I know the
Says no.
driveway and the house, but the top where they being Catlin live.
They do have an
Pretty steep.
incline on
That,
the
what,
site plan.
the
so
house
it's
that's
a pretty-
existing already, which lot is that?
It's the one you're thinking of. It's immediately east of the Lehigh Valley Trail.
Right,
On the north side of 251.
right.
Very steep driveway.
Yeah, so that.
So they're gonna take
is
this
the
property then?
existing- This is the existing property, and then their driveway's gonna come in over here and kind of curl up and around to the
Oh.
house. And it is a fairly.
Is that
long
driveway that you see there, is that the Roden House driveway?
It's on the
This one,
east
this
side.
goes to this.
The road houses are on the west side
Yeah.
of the Lehigh Valley. Well, they're on the east side of the trail, but where the parking area is,
Right,
the access area.
to the trail.
Yeah, okay, so they are on the east side, but this is. Then they're way back. Yeah, they're both on the east side. But
They-
the Roden house is west of this Bailey.
So isn't it right next to Parkland? Because the Lehigh Valley Trail counts as Parkland.
Yeah, and they didn't even say when it asks about pedestrian or bicycle. They didn't note it, it's right next
Yeah,
to it.
at number 5,
So
they
it
didn't
comes-
check forest or Parkland.
It comes out right here.
Where are all the driveways gonna be?
That's what I was, I don't,
Oh,
oh, wait a minute.
Here.
We have a
This
lot of
is-
maps.
This is, the trail right. here.
Right.
They're building over here on this particular.
This,
Okay, so this one, even though like this is all here, that's,
that's what I was. That too.
okay, that's just a lot for the future, I guess. All right.
So this is what we're looking at.
Right.
But yeah, they checked no for number 8. Are any pedestrian accommodations or bicycle routes available on or near the site? They're right next to it. And they checked no.
Well, no, I think they're a little bit farther east of the existing driveway, that house that's already there that comes out. And then this driveway is a little bit farther east, right?
So there's a driveway
There.
between the Lehigh Valley Trail and
Well,
this.
This is the trail,
That's the
right?
trail.
Where's the trail?
Right here, right?
Yeah, the gravel parking area, yeah, that's it. But there's this house right here that comes out, this driveway comes out, so this new driveway is a little bit farther east, I think,
Mm-hmm.
right?
I would agree, yes.
Yeah,
I believe too, they have already been notified that they will have to contact New York State DOT in regards to the sites of that particular.
The line of sight, you mean?
there just doesn't seem like there's enough room in there. Like that is really narrow between this existing driveway and these people's property. I go by there daily. Hmm.
It looks close to me.
Yeah, look how steep this all is. They have a steep driveway, so this one is even steeper.
It's gonna be a lot of work.
They had to do that to accommodate this.
Yeah, yeah.
What did you say?
The slope,
the slope.
Oh,
They had to make it more gradual.
Yeah,
instead of going,
Make it longer.
it's gonna be a lot of construction. It's a lot of excavation.
And they check no for steep slope.
There too, like, what is?
That's the definition of
Slope, well, I don't know,
I don't-
Walk that
Would
land
be.
would say there's a significant incline, well, decline if you're going down.
Yeah, because it's what, 600 down here.
And, you know, it's, apparently this is a bit off the topic for the moment, but maybe we can, but if they are going to look at redefining some of these things, I think the Conservation Board should be involved in that.
yes.
In the definition of it, so.
Yeah.
Probably.
Right, I don't know if it would be, maybe in the seeker information, you know, like their large instruction book.
so I mean, even though it's steep and as far as a conservation board, it's nothing.
Well, steep slope is also considered sort of a natural feature that, you know, one might want to look at preserving.
Uh-huh,
It was unbearable, and I did a standard.
Because it is considered one of the environmentally sensitive features as a steep slope. I don't know to what extent the Lehigh Valley Trail.
The Lehigh Trail
proximity-
here, what's interesting, I don't know how this is ever gonna be used for a house, this piece of property. Who subdivided this? People that own this house?
right, this is really basically landlocked, because you're not gonna be able to get a driveway in there.
Right,
Well, like, unless they can get somebody to give them a right of way, but they can't get a right of way through the Lehigh Valley
Right,
Trail.
right.
That's been
And
tried.
I was gonna say, you want it off the road, or you know, from the road.
Sharon.
this is really wooded too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm,
Okay, so we've got, I just make notes of a couple different places.
cause when we drive by it, I always try to envision.
Nice, yeah.
When they
I
start
can
making-
envision putting that, something in there. There's just not very much space. But I guess it's just the driveway, but it's gonna be steep. A lot of trees are gonna have to come out. I mean, they've said where they're gonna obviously replace them, but this is all wooded.
It is important though, when they're talking about stormwater runoff.
Is this the size tree that they're gonna be putting in?
How can it not, they say it's not.
Probably, or maybe they're talking.
Pat, what do you say?
16 trees.
Runoff.
What did you say?
The stormwater runoff, I would say, it's a very important issue for that.
Oh, from the driveway?
And,
But they say no issue.
right, but. Yeah. Remember Arnold Carmichael with Escher? He looked at the plans and said, this is very Escher-like, got the water running uphill.
Well, yeah, because the water does drain down here, so then where's it gonna go?
Gonna go across the road to the park property to the south.
Like where you get on the
55.
trail? Yeah.
And they're probably wetter than they want to be already.
Hmm.
Okay, so we've got, again, inconsistencies, including the steep slope and the proximity to the linear trail with bicycle and pedestrian paths.
Was there an EAF on this one?
Well, here it is. Yeah. Yeah, this is the one where you see where they didn't check most of the
Oh.
important features.
Hmm.
I would say they need to check first if
Septic
the
system.
number is 45.
Right,
They check the rural, non-agricultural. But it's definitely forested. Until they cut the trees down.
Even this house though, I mean, they really didn't, it doesn't look like take a lot of it, like they wanted that extra. in-
now they have a buyer for this, right? You know, I mean,
Oh, it's
are they building this on spec?
spec?
No,
Okay.
but Steve is actually the owner, I believe, and he's the one building.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, thank you.
Yeah, it would be a terrible waste.
Yeah.
The development, well, we were trying to establish roads and swales, drainage. North, westerly swale.
All his properties.
I don't know if you can piece of property.
It's very interesting, and how they even
Drainage.
Yeah.
zoned this one out, you know?
It's interesting, look, they checked off too, this property contains wetlands.
They said that for 13, but then for 14, they did not. It's the same as the Stacy application.
It's the mapper, I'm telling you.
Well, whoever's filling this out.
But I don't,
It's the
I mean,
very
this would be the last property I would think of wetland.
Yeah, it's steep.
Right,
Where's the wetland?
Yeah. It is. They,
Mm, What do you think they mean by established roadside swale? Where's the roadside swale?
I don't know, I mean, it could be along, I don't know if there's one along that road or not. There often is, you know, like on Wardell.
Ditch.
like the
Yeah.
ditch, that's what
Yeah,
I'm
It's the
thinking.
ditch.
It's a ditch.
Yeah,
Well, that's exactly, you're right. That's what they're calling it.
It's a swale.
The,
But a swale would have to have like plant life in it, correct? To
No.
absorb the water? No.
necessarily. No, that's that's the idea I brought
Yeah,
from Chautauqua.
yes.
That you instead of a ditch, you can have an
Right.
environmental swale with certain kinds of
Absorb it, yeah.
plantings. Yeah.
We have a swale at our house and it's literally like just a little dip and it goes all the way back to the end of our property onto our neighbor's property. So our water kind of runs off in their backyard. And, but I mean, it's very shallow. It's just, yes, just a little, keep it away from the house and get it out.
how does this one make sense? The development will route stormwater runoff to established roadside swales draining to New York 251 and to, this is what I don't get, to the northwesterly swale. This way gonna turn around and go, it's running south to the road.
It's kind of a thing.
just gonna turn around and go uphill.
And they say, and to the northwesterly swale.
But they're gonna have curtain drains stuff.
Well, there's farmland down in there and there's a road that goes down into the farmland and that gets very, very wet.
Very wet, that's Bob Hergesel's, yeah,
Yeah,
really wet.
I bet that's where they're thinking it's all gonna drain down into there, because that would be northwest.
But they don't admit that. And I mean, if I were Bob Ferguson, I'd be complaining about this. It was already wet.
It is very wet.
He's getting a letter. He's getting Google for this. I have this envelope and like something on it. This looks.
Yeah, and he's already right on the creek.
Yeah. Yep.
Or,
How's the trail there though? Does that get wet? Or is it up?
Well,
It can get wet. It's been wet this spring. It was
get
very
muddy.
wet.
Okay.
Now we're getting on the fall.
So
Or-
Here's what I have so far. There are inaccuracies and inconsistencies on the forms regarding wetlands, forest, steep slope, and proximity to parkland, parenthesis, linear trail with bicycle and pedestrian routes. Mitigation plan needed regarding the environmental features. And number two, serious issues with stormwater runoff and drainage.
That sounds good.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Well, if you read their application, they've addressed all of that. This doesn't make sense to me, but.
Well, I don't see anything on here that's, do you, I don't see anything how they addressed it. Maybe
Well,
putting
they're saying it's
trees in.
gonna drain down here. And then it's gonna go northwest.
You want to add that to the comments that it appears that the applicant appears to be showing water running uphill?
Well, it actually wouldn't be uphill, but it would go down. There's a driveway. Where is the driveway? Right by the gravel parking lot. It would all drain down here, I think.
Well, they say curtain drains will drain water prior to reaching the septic system and discharge downhill within the parcel boundaries. Like it knows where the boundaries are and then.
You go over the big Russell line.
That's a good point.
I don't get it. It's very serious.
So how about if I add, serious issues with stormwater runoff and drainage, including questions as to how the drainage would stay within the property boundaries as attested by the applicant?
Well, and think about, so that's a paved driveway. The water's rushing down now. All those trees right there are gone to absorb all that
Right.
water. Where's it gonna go?
Removes the trees.
Yeah, and if it's paved,
Okay, so I'll add that, but we'll say including, let's check it.
what's
I
a
think- I
concrete
think that's put
washout?
there that it was paved.
Are there any more pages to this?
This is,
Oh, the,
notes.
oh, okay. That's good.
Which would be.
Anything for drain.
And it's an interesting piece of property to choose to build on, isn't it?
I wouldn't, but, I mean, yeah.
You could suggest that the driveway not be paved, or that they go with what they have at the temple.
With
So-
the,
Oh, that
Yeah,
Green? The green parking.
yeah.
They're not gonna do it, it's kind of cost to us.
Right.
But if they're gonna throw up Bob Hurdy from.
Did you see that here? Or did it say that it was intention or going to be paved?
no, we don't
Oh,
know.
I was gonna say.
We don't know.
I think we did say something about that, but it's not listed on the map, so maybe not, maybe they are gonna leave it. I can't imagine that. Driveway for winter though.
Oh, I couldn't imagine it gravel.
Paved? Yeah, I don't know if maybe they're not gonna do paved because of that.
Well, I can't do, I mean, our driveway washes at times and it's not nearly this steep.
Yeah, what are these temporary check dams? What is that mean?
Probably for building,
Oh,
I think they're for, yeah.
okay,
while they're building.
okay. Hold things in place.
Okay, so let me read this back again. Well, I've got the first part. I didn't change anything there. Number two, serious issues with stormwater runoff and drainage, including applicant statement that drainage would stay within property boundaries. How? Removal of trees and adding a driveway would likely worsen drainage issues near the road. So I just said adding a driveway since we don't know for sure.
What
Mhm.
type of driveway?
But almost any kind of driveway it's a matter of how much worse it's going to make it, not
Mhm.
whether or not it's. Yes,
So that-
yeah, I said removal of trees and adding a driveway.
Well, and you know what happened in the flood of June is next door to me, Tom Ronenhouse's driveway, it all washed into the street. It was stone driveway, but it all just went into the road.
The one up by Leary did the same thing. Remember that big? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, any other comments on the Bailey application?
No, I don't have any.
Okay, so will someone state a motion to encompass the comments that have been shared? Yes, Pat.
Just for the archaeological significance.
Oh,
They
yes.
refer to the Livermore House, which is 251 in Clover. To be on this, I suppose it has to have the actual designation, because again, they're right next door to the oldest frame house in Rush, the Peter Myers house. And they're right, they're pretty close to Louise Harris's house, but I guess the Peter Myers house is so famous, but I mean, it's not environmentally important, it's just a matter of accuracy.
Right, yeah, I don't know, it's, yeah, not exactly our jurisdiction, but accuracy.
Well, but that the conservation board is supposed to look at, significant, forgot what they call it. But that's okay.
Archaeological.
I don't see it as a conservation issue.
They may be told at the planning board that they have to get a lot of shit out. So most of them do if there is a monument or a historical preserved site or.
Well, it's up to you if you want to include that, you think we should include that or
It
not.
actually is weird that they put in the Livermore House, which is,
Cobblestone?
yeah,
I saw it.
yeah, quite a ways away, and they're right next door to the Peter Myers house. But
What's the cobblestone house you're speaking of?
you know where the turnaround, the roundabout is Clover and 251?
Oh, yeah.
It's on the northwest corner.
Well, that's not even close to
Actually,
you.
no, the Rush store there is.
No, it's not.
Yeah, that's.
Interesting.
But they put that-
There's a couple.
I see what you're saying.
251.
Maybe cut through the woods.
Okay, so are we gonna add this to our comments or not? It's up to you.
Doesn't matter to me, I'm just always amazed at what.
Well, I guess we could just say that there is a historical home much closer to the proposed
It's
property.
next door.
Okay, well, we can just say noted that a historical home is adjacent.
Yeah, that other one isn't even in Rush. It's in
No.
London. That's odd.
Next door and built in London, but it's built in 1808. And it's right next to. the
Yeah.
canal.
Where are you looking in? What is that? Oh.
It's all by Oh, we have to bring that in.
Okay, so we can add noted that an historical home is adjacent to the property, not mentioned by applicant.
May not have one of those signs up front, I don't know. Maybe that makes a difference.
Oh.
Okay, I need a decision from you folks. Are we gonna put this in or are we gonna not put this in? I can cross it out if you want.
I make a note of it.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's,
right, we're not, that way if we're just making a note, we're not
Right,
putting in that it's a
yeah, just
conservation
right.
issue, just.
FYI.
yeah, I'll put an FYI in. And maybe I'll also put in parenthesis, well, no, I don't want to say that. I mean, whether or not it's our jurisdiction is iffy, because it's kind of in
Yeah,
there, the
it's
things
just-
that we look at, so it's not clear.
Right.
So I'll just leave it noted FYI. Okay, so we need a motion on this.
I'll make a motion.
A second.
Whoever.
Okay. All right, Deputy Chairwoman Weaverman,
Aye.
Member Wilbur,
Aye.
Member Hope.
Aye.
Member Scott.
Okay, moving on to old business. First, we have implementation of the town email addresses for conservation board members. I'll mention a couple of things on that. I am using mine. I had a little more trouble at one point getting back into it because apparently if you need to reset your password, you know how most places you can do something to reset it, but when I tried that, I got an error message saying that it wasn't set up for that and to contact the administrator. However, I was able to resurrect and logged in by the original password. So I was able to get in. I noticed that, you know, like some things from the town are coming to my personal address, which I don't mind. And some are coming to the new one. So I just keep both of them going. But, you know, I mean, I think it takes time to make the adjustment since we haven't had them before.
Well,
But-
I'm having difficulty
Yes.
getting
so-
into it, so let's keep using our other ones.
Yeah, and what you did today, you sent it to all of our personal addresses plus the new.
Yeah.
Right, that's what Marjorie's been doing.
Yeah.
No, Marjorie's been doing that and I've been echoing that when I
Yes.
send out the
Yeah.
agenda.
And just until we make sure everybody's on it, we're gonna have to talk to Dave too, because I don't know, he
doesn't do
said different things when we ask him to do things, so no, as far as the email is concerned, I would like to make sure that he's up on it. And so right now, Pat, Julia, you both are using it.
Yes.
Sue needs to log in
Yeah, I'll do that.
at some point. Beth, I'm gonna have Steve reach out to you.
Yeah.
I don't know why he didn't before, but they've been kind of crazy.
Although you made a good point, maybe it was put in incorrectly.
I kind of wonder if something wasn't, maybe they spelled conservation. Board
Yeah,
on that one.
okay,
It
we'll
wasn't
let
when
him sort it
he
out.
sent it to me, because I basically copied and pasted each
Oh.
of the email addresses and the passwords directly to you from what Steve gave me. So yeah, I'll have him reach out to you though, and maybe it's something having to do with this authenticator, but I haven't had a problem with that.
Okay.
So,
And what's his name?
Steve Tanner.
Can you give me that? I was lost
And-
agenda. I'm wondering if it got scooped up in
Oh,
the
Is
paperwork.
Matthew.
here's
So
one.
Oh.
Steve Matthew.
Thanks. And must be what,
But I
okay.
did
We
miss
found it.
them your,
Well, that might be Dave, so yours
Oh,
might still be
okay.
in there.
Yeah.
So I took- I don't
So I
see
didn't
it,
get
but-
back to them, I just think maybe it just got.
Okay.
From the side somewhere. So we'll get that up and looking for you, but then Dave, yes, then we gotta get Dave.
Okay, so the email addresses are still a work in progress.
Mhm.
Okay.
It'll take him longer than me.
Board members that don't abide by it, sorry.
Well. If we use our personal one, we're.
They took yours.
Oh, okay, I was just saying, I told Julia, I thought I got mixed up with other papers.
It's only if you were to forward something from the town to someone else, that it can become an issue. That's.
From my personal.
Yes, from your personal, yes, yes,
Well, that's good to know, because we are still getting stuff to the personal, so.
yes. If someone knew that had happened, they can foil. That's all, we're just trying to protect the board.
Oh, sure, absolutely, thank you. Now, had come up earlier in this meeting, you know, about the access to the wetlands map at conservation board meetings. So how would we go about doing that? No,
Well, so Pat sent me a message. I just went through the drawers the other day. We have a big map cabinet in my office, and I was just kind of thumbing through there. They are labeled, but the only large map that is in there is more of like a Henrietta, I think it's a District 5, and it cuts the top part, like, so it cuts after the top part of Rush, so it's not specifically the Rush map. I don't know where those are located. I'm not sure if they existed at one time and maybe someone took them, or So,
Could they be in the concert? There are still a couple filing cabinet.
no, there's nothing in there.
Okay,
But they should be very available to the planning board also, because they're the overlay maps
Yes.
Yeah.
for each and every parcel.
Those over there.
Where? In the tables?
Yeah.
Behind these? I don't know. Do we
Yes,
have
yes.
maps over there?
Kelsey told us the county has them.
Oh, yeah, we have, like an agricultural overlay, we have our, zoning overlay. We have the floodplain overlay now, but I don't know if any of these are. I didn't even know this was. on. Oh, we
This is possible. You get that solar.
Who would have had done tonight?
Yeah, he would have.
Greenway boundaries.
So, oh, hey, what's that? Agricultural.
In our comprehensive plan, there's a wetlands map on page 68, our updated plan. But it's not an overlay. Do you remember when Ron Brand? That, the overlays were a huge issue. I don't know how many years ago, more than 36, I think.
well, maybe not, because,
No, I'm trying to
quite
judge
that.
by my son's age.
which is also when Tom and I moved to Rush,
Uh,
and that was the end of 1989. I
That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
and
think it was
it
93.
Seems like the planning board absolutely, and we should have access to them.
So how would the town, if we don't have them now, how would we get them?
So we can contact Monroe County.
Yeah, got that.
Yeah, John is, yeah, he's the one that did the big floodplain, overlay map. So I have right now to check with him. He's been out for surgery, so he hasn't been in the office much. He has been maybe a day or so since he had surgery. So I will definitely check with him though, and I think he may be coming in this next week.
Okay, would you like an email from me to make the request on the behalf of the Conservation Board?
Okay, no, I will ask him, maybe he might know where they are located, he has his own sets of maps too, so he might have something in his office area, so we'll figure it out. But we can get any of the overlay maps, we have an agricultural one, we have, the zoning one, is that similar, is that what you were,
This is the wetlands,
okay.
page 68 of the comprehensive plan. Is that what you have a large copy of over against the wall? That you just looked at?
No, it's agricultural.
Okay,
That one's agricultural that we just looked at.
okay.
So like because a lot of the farmlands in Rush are in the eastern agricultural district, so if that's something that we have to specify when we send the projects through Monroe County. They like to know if it's in an ag district or not, so.
Okay, well, thank you, Marjorie. We'll look to see what happens
Yeah,
from
I-
that. And if you know,
When I talk with John, so.
and again, if I can be of any help, let me know. So.
Nope.
And the other thing for holdover from last month's meeting was how we wanted to recommend expiration dates for approvals. And again, I'm not sure as to how, if and how we would want to pursue that. I guess we could make a formal, send one of our memos to the town board to make that request.
But do you want it to be more restrictive than what's already on the books for the planning board? Because it's already there. I mean, if we're gonna, I don't,
What's on the books for the planning board?
if preliminary approval, if more than 6 months have passed since granting of preliminary approval by the planning board has at its discretion the ability to request resubmission of for preliminary approval. And we have horrendous examples of how that did not happen when it was nearly a decade. But that's already on the books, so I don't know.
Well,
what-
two things. That may not be sufficient from our point of view. Maybe just for hypothetical, we might want to propose that it be required that maybe not after 6 months, maybe after a longer period of time, but that maybe after 6 months, the planning board has a right, but after 3 years, there's an obligation. You know, that it's not the planning board discretion, that it's compulsory. And also, what about non-preliminary approval? I guess there is technically final approval that isn't completely final, is that right?
Big final.
Because sometimes final approval is given and then nothing happens, literally for 20 years, like in the Cobblestone
Yeah.
subdivision. And then in the meantime, the rules have changed, the topography may have changed, there may have been more erosion, more redirection of water. Lots of things can happen to land in 20 years, both naturally and based, and on other development that's been going on. So maybe we want to propose that there be no more final approval, or that final approval is not final. After that after a certain number of years, it expires.
Statute of limitations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So usually too, after anything is approved from planning board, John submits, a building permit for them, for the projects. That, I think those expire within a year. If they come back, say they, wanna do something different on the property, they obviously have to reapply. I don't know if you can put a date on something that's out there that, I don't know, because if take Stacy's project, for instance, they thought they could come in here, get a building permit like that to put up a single family home. We don't do it that way, but that was an approved building lot. He thought he could just come in, get a permit from John and go ahead and start building. Because those plans were 5 years outdated, and it's not in our town code. Our town code specifies you have to come before the planning board with a site plan application. But had he already had that done, he would have been able to just come in, get a building permit, and then he has to build within a year of that permit. Or he has to come back in and do a new permit, for whatever. Yeah, reapply for the permit, right? Renewal, yeah. So, there's that already that John keeps track of. I mean, he's, obviously he talks with all the builders and all of that every day. So, there's that time frame. I don't know if you can put a time frame on something. We talked about that too, just because of this project where they actually approved the Perry Hill Estates. And they approved the building lots or the lots as building lots. That was over 5 years ago. So that's why we were talking that maybe if we go back to the departments, say we do decide to update our code and say, you don't have to come in with a site plan application. And maybe it's just something that you bring your plans in, and then John does sit down and look at them, and then he issues a building permit because the site is already approved.
Yeah, but I guess what we're saying is that can be problematic. Because what's been approved in some cases after a certain number of years may no longer exist. Because certain features that were there 20 years ago may have changed. And what might have been appropriate then may not be appropriate now. Also, if it's approved, if a building lot is approved, but it never gets built on, then after a certain number of years, is it appropriate that it is no longer an approved building lot for that very reason, that things may have changed?
That's kind of why we said in the instance, say that we didn't make them reapply or, come in with a site plan application. they would have to give the town something from public health stating that they've been back out there, that they, may have to do the perk tests over again and all of that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think the perk test
I
really,
guess-
they may very well expire. That may be part of it already. But
Yeah.
I'm just still thinking that, the plans that were approved were based on drainage that may no longer drain the same way. It may be based on features that aren't there or things, what may have been scrubland may now can be a forest after 20
Well, and
years.
what else has been built around it? Because that
Right.
would have an impact too.
Exactly, including on drainage.
Well, and all of this is on file at the Monroe County Clerk's office. So do they have something in place too that, I don't know. I don't know. I guess it would be up to the town.
And also, I don't know I don't know how much discretion we have. Can we even do what I'm suggesting under county or state law? Or is it is it ensconced somewhere else that, that no, once certain things happen, then that's the way it is, no matter what. So I guess there's a lot, I don't think we're going to be able to probably get anything official by the end of this year. Unless, correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like there's work to, this is a complicated issue and there's work to be done on it. So it may be kind of a long-term project for us to research with that might have to consult, maybe the Environmental Management Council, maybe they have some information on this. I don't know. I don't want to reinvent the wheel if there's something already out there about it, but it's things that we can research
Mhm.
and then see if we want to make a proposal, to the town. Pat, are you willing to do I'm willing to try to look into it a bit. Are you willing to? And
You got the right.
sure.
Yeah, I don't know that the environmental council would, but that seldom gets talked about.
Okay, well, that was just a for
But,
instance.
but yeah, there would definitely be other places to try to find information on it.
But the question out there with the privilege of the floor, just.
Does anybody have experience with this? What do other towns do?
I mean, I'm thinking it could very well be up to the town. I mean, we put in our town code that you have to bring in a site plan application. Some towns don't do
Yeah,
that.
I bet it is a code issue town
It
to
would probably be
town.
a code
That
thing.
makes sense. Yeah. Well, aren't they redoing the code?
Yeah,
They are working, they're more, like
The
working
Hamlet.
specifically more on just the residential codes now. But that's more specific to the, all of the residential code that we have.
Well, I wonder if it is part of the town code, and that's a very good point. Maybe it is something we can present to the code committee. If they, if they disagree, that's up to them. But if they agree, maybe it can become something that they look at including.
Only you knew someone on there.
I'm sorry?
Only you knew someone on there.
Well, let's put it on the agenda because he'll be here next month.
Not one.
Okay.
A guy,
Why isn't he zooming?
a couple of guys, yeah,
exactly.
we should, no, he probably doesn't know.
He probably.
Right.
He's probably like, I have no clue what that is.
No, he must, because we did Zoom during the pandemic. He was there on Zoom.
Oh, he
meetings.
did?
On his phone, I think. but- Yeah, because everything was on Zoom. Okay, so that'll we can discuss that with Dave and the code committee. Okay, so we're done with the anything else on old business?
I didn't know anyone.
Who's on the code committee too?
Oh,
Oh, well, okay. I didn't realize that.
Yep. I just.
Now-
thought about
Now
it.
it's on you, Pat.
You know what I did? Oh, slow down.
No, Pat, you're okay with discussing it with Robert too?
I'll discuss it with him. I like what you're proposing very much. I don't see it as, I mean, okay, I'm just too jaded. I went through the very close, important situation where the planning board opted not to even use their discretion when just short of a decade had elapsed, let alone 6 months. They just went ahead, gave them final approval. Thank God, almost no houses have been built there, except Dave Watson's house was built there, which is ironic. But it could have been 100+ houses
Yes,
Wow.
because
yeah.
they
Some
were
of,
approved in spite of the fact that it was just about 10 years.
right, but that was also a while ago now that that happened. And if we were to make, if the code
I
committee,
love it,
yeah, I mean, if we were to make that change, then there wouldn't be that level of discretion anymore.
love it. Sure, I can talk to Robert. He's gonna-
Well, it's got to start somewhere. And it seems if if there's any possibility of it happening, in the code committee may be a place for it to start. Whether or not the town board, I assume, would have to approve what the code committee does.
Yeah.
And whether or not the town board would approve that, whether or not the code committee approves it, whether or not the town board approves it, we don't know. But but it doesn't mean we can't at least be heard on that, make
Right.
ourselves heard, and then, see what the outcome is.
Spoke of not wanting to reinvent the wheel. Scott Strock is extraordinary in every way. And right now he's horrendously not well. So we can't expect him to do anything. But when he's well again, I hope. One thing, he likes to look at what every other town is doing on every issue. And maybe, and not just nearby, he'll go through the state, whatever. You might find a town that's doing what you're suggesting.
Yeah, well, that would be good to know. I mean, I think it would be helpful to anybody involved to know if we're going down a new path, or which we could do. But if it's already something which is being done elsewhere, that's good to know too.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on. Oh, I'm sorry, any other old business? And I forgot to ask any other new business. Okay, so for the Environmental Management Council, Beth, thank you for,
Well, let me just add a little bit more to that. So, I mean, I'm very concerned about the birds. I've noticed a huge decline in my own yard at my own feeders. I don't know if anyone else has seen that. Nick Coachella, he's a big birder. We just concurred last week and at the park that he's also seen the same thing. And actually the statistics are 2.9 billion birds gone since 1970. The number one cause, outdoor cats. The number two cause, window collisions. So, and she really went into depth what you can do if you have windows and you want to protect the birds. The thing about it is I've purchased these stickers at the birdhouse on Monroe Avenue. They're not nearly close enough. You literally have to have things 2 inches apart to deter the birds.
but then you can't see out the windows.
Well, this is true, but they're trying, there's a lot of different options. I know that, that attachment or that Google Doc, there's different options that they're trying all over. And you know what, this was something that I found interesting. I've always thought, I knew about bird collisions. I always thought like high-rise buildings in the city would be the biggest factor. It's not. It's really 1 to 4 story dwellings. And it's because the glass reflects, especially where we live, there's a lot of green and that's what it reflects, and they think they can go right through it. So there was a lot on the meeting about that, but then also 70% of our birds here in North America migrate, 80% migrate at night. And so she really talked about advocating for dark skies, the Dark Skies Protection Act. And there's a lot everyone can do about that because all the lights at night really mislead them. So then therefore it causes more window collisions. It just interferes with them being able to use the stars and the light in the sky at night to migrate. So people can They can do a lot of things to their outdoor lighting. They can put it on timers. A yellow bulb is much better than a white bulb. To have light directed down is something that really helps the birds instead of huge spotlights all over. And there's a letter in there where it was suggested at the meeting, we can contact our Congress people about this Dark Skies Protection Act here in New York State. I'm gonna write letters myself. It was just a thought that I had. If we felt that this was an important thing to do for bird life, I could certainly write one on behalf of our conservation board as well.
Sounds good to me. Okay, do we have until next month so we could take it up and formally approve? Okay.
I'll compose it. Well, I'll get it ready and then I can bring that.
That'd be great.
Yes, thank you for doing that.
Yeah, because our birds are really in trouble. I mean, it's been widely reported that the populations are really, really declining. Habitat loss, climate change, plus these other factors too that I talked about. So there's that about the birds and then the Dark Skies Protection Act. And just on I'll just tell you what I know about the tree committee. Not very much. They haven't. I think they met last night, but I didn't get an update on their meeting last night.
Didn't show up. It was Tuesday night
Right.
and, two people showed up, the town hall was locked and.
Oh,
Oh, no.
well, Nancy
Sorry.
got just this.
Oh, building was, yeah, we were closed.
Nancy Getz she is, I guess fulfilling her term, or she's leaving the end of the year. So I think they are gonna be looking for a new member. And I did read all of what's, I don't know what you call it on our town website, but what they're set to task to do. But I did read there too that we have been asked to look over the applications of whoever might be interested in joining that board. Oh, and then just let me jump back to EMC one more. So I'm actually going to be presenting all about the 100-acre nature park
Hey.
at the EMC meeting in February. But in February, in collaboration with Jacob Carney, who he's been the liaison that the park has gotten the grant from Monroe County Soil and Water, the 600 trees. So he's going to be a part of that too. The real focus on planting native species. So yeah.
Everyone should come.
And those meetings are welcome to anyone. Actually, the one next Wednesday is at RIT for a tour, informational tour of the College of Sustainability.
It's a cool place.
So I'll be, but all are welcome. If anyone else wants to
Masters of
go.
Architectures.
Yeah.
Thank you, Beth.
It's
And-
the EMC too, that we got all the links for, the meeting last night on farmland. I sent you the link so you can get, these are the handouts last night, you can get this and a whole lot more. It's the first time they're updating the farmland protection plan since 1999.
Wow.
Rush has one. Pretty recent. So anyway, it is important and that's why I sent the earlier email. She might not have seen.
Well, no, I
Thank
like how
you.
you stated in that email,
Oh,
you
yeah.
said communities have to look at their strengths, at their assets, at their
Yes.
resources. I mean, you're talking about really, really top grade soil here in the town of Rush, so it needs to be protected for sure.
Absolutely. No, I thought that was very well put. And and what I don't like is when people sort of downgrade one thing to support another. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the town of Henrietta. There's nothing wrong with the
Right.
town of Pittsford. There's nothing wrong with the city of Rochester. It's just that Rush doesn't have to be like any other town. It's perfectly fine for Rush to be Rush. And I think that's the important thing, that we preserve the strengths that we have here.
If every town is alike, what's the point?
right.
When I travel, it's like every place I go through has all the same big box stores and convenience, everything and drive-through everything. Rush could look just like that, and it won't look like Rush. And it won't have the habitats for the birds and every other.
And the farmland,
Places.
and the farmland that
Right.
produces what we need without having to import it from another country, and pay tariffs on it.
Well, and the
So-
wetland corridors in this town are, yeah. S-
So, any, report from the town board liaison who's filling in tonight?
I had a meeting with National Grid today, one of the big pre-construction meeting for upgrade of state. They traveled, the route of the high tension lines that they're gonna replace, the one from, up in Brighton, down to Golden Road, and one coming across the take it to Golden Road. They're very concerned about the archaeological Grove site over where they're gonna put the new substation. And that seems to be the major concern. They positioned it, they've been testing for a while. And they positioned it, they believe that's away from anything that's extremely sensitive. That's what they got another study to do. I don't know for sure. And then they were talking about screening it, but they won't screen it until they actually have it built, so. They know what needs to be done, but the best screen it from neighbors.
Is this separate from the conduits under the river that,
Yes,
okay,
the conduit under the rivers. That's not gonna start, they were gonna start setting up Monday. But, they haven't got approval yet, the ORS, so it's not gonna happen until after Thanksgiving. To begin. And they're going to test wells within
that's what I was just gonna
within
ask.
1,000 feet of the drill site. That's the only thing they're concentrating on now. And there's one property that has a well that's within 1,000 feet, but it's the very back corner of the property. It's a property on East River Road, and it's where they're coming up is just past the railroad tracks. In the very back of the spot. So we will be offering to test as well. The rest of the wells that are within 1,000 feet of the construction site will be getting a letter, but that's not gonna begin until late 26 till early 27 before they start any kind of construction on permits. So everyone will be given an opportunity, everyone within 1,000 feet will be given the opportunity to have their well tested.
Is that gonna happen like right at the very southern border of Rush? Is that where that will be?
That's. No, it's up a ways.
Okay,
They did say if they're gonna send out letters later next year. And it offered to test your well. If you don't engage in the test your well and it comes time to start construction, they're not gonna stop because you didn't get the well tested.
I thought they were gonna test within a mile, and originally do a baseline.
Alright.
But they've changed that and it's down to 1,000.
They only need to do 500, but they said they can do 1,000. All that stuff was agreed upon 4 years ago.
Mhm. Well, with things like that and the loss of trees. I know there are people very concerned, but maybe I'm wrong, but this is a big state push.
Yeah.
And that's why we haven't been able to get any satisfaction from the beginning. I mean, it's it was Article 10,
No,
nobody could say anything.
94C. And everything's been agreed to, and we're gonna follow what's already been agreed to.
No matter what.
And the actual size of the project, because the panels are more efficient now, so the actual coverage is down. Cover less acres. Like the panels.
And they're trying to avoid some of the indigenous.
They are, and I went to the meeting in Caledonia couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and archaeological commodities are gonna be on the whole True Road Empire project.
So anything else that you want to share with us?
That's the biggest thing going on.
Thank you. Thank you. So we have a member of the public. Was there any comment or question that you had? Sure.
You okay without it?
Yeah, I just realized there's no mic. I'll stand anyway.
We need to state your name and address for
Yeah,
the record.
see, Middle Road. I was gonna say, the only one on the sign in. Not hard to find me. I just wanted to say I'm really encouraged by the conversation tonight, around the development of the properties as well as for the proposal to potentially look at, this expiry date, as it relates, I would say closely to drainage and being such a drainage sensitive area, Rush being as wet as it is. These properties, as you said, Julia, that these proposals can go through, they can be approved and many, many years can go by and we know that the land can change, though the climate can change, the amount of water flow we're getting can change. And from the perspective of the lowland neighbors, who might be impacted by some of these developments, the increased water flows that are headed their direction. From a conservation standpoint, the potential for erosion, it just gets larger and larger. And once that erosion starts to mitigate it, it's very difficult. And so just to hear that conversation was very encouraging. I think it's something that should be looked at closely for all the proposals that come through. Because again, once that water flow starts after development, those downstream neighbors, to fight that is a very difficult challenge. And can drastically impact their lives and their well-being in their homes. So yeah, just wanted to say I was encouraged by that discussion and I appreciate it tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your comments. That actually real quick, that brings to mind that my own property is a case in point. Because, we built the property so it would drain to the back and we have a walkout basement that was totally dry for 25 years. And one day there was like about a half an inch of water in the basement. And I discovered that the water was now flowing down toward the house and it was getting in underneath the walkout door. And until we could get things repaired, I found on Amazon an inflatable snake where it's flat and you put it in front of the door. And as it gets wet, it expands and becomes a barricade. And it works beautifully. You couldn't open the door, but it worked beautifully to keep the water out. And then we had to have the grounds re-excavated in order to get it flowing in the direction it had for 25 years. So that's just one piece of property on a wet piece of land, and it changed. The flow changed. So,
Right.
yeah.
I think you see the developers also often say, we'll get the water to the road. And then beyond that, there's no consideration for what happens after that. And
Yeah.
my personal experience, it comes across the road. And yeah, just
It also ponds up in the road sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
And then it makes the road impassable. So,
Patient is saying, take it to the road and then.
It'll disappear.
Well, and you know what?
Evaporate.
My mother lives in Henrietta. All of the storm water drains, they're full of leaves. People literally sweep their leaves into the streets. And so there's no plan for cleaning. I don't think there's a plan for cleaning that out. I'm sure we have similar things around this town hall building, that huge grate, and it gets, clogged with leaves and other debris, and then you got a problem.
so anything else? I'll hear a motion to, oh, yes, Pat.
It's not our business. Meeting business, but everyone should enjoy the arrowheads out and.
Oh,
I'll have a look.
Some are from Luther's Farm.
All right,
And,
thank you.
The only other thing, remember to vote December 9th for the fire commission.
What are the voting hours?
Oh, I don't know.
6.
Oh, so it's evening. Good. Hey, I'll hear a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Deputy Chairwoman Wheatley,
Aye.
Member Willoughby,
Aye.
Member Hope,
I